Chop Robinson is my 5th ranked edge rusher and 36th ranked player in the 2024 draft class. He has so much potential as a speed rusher that could develop into the kind of player that just takes over games, but his skill set at this point is unrefined. I don't think you can count on him to be a day one contributor, and if he isn't able to develop his pass rushing technique when he gets into the NFL, I think his role could be fairly limited. As someone with limited cooking skills, I've always struggled to find healthy meals that taste good and don't take a long time to prepare, but Factor helps me avoid takeout and ordering in with delicious and nutritious, no-nonsense food that's ready quickly. Their meals come pre-prepared, ready to eat in 2 minutes, which is perfect for busy lifestyles. And if you want to try this out, head to factor75.com or click the link below and use code ATOZFilm50 and get 50% off your first Factor box and free wellness shots for life. 2 free wellness shots from 3 available flavors for every order while you're an active subscriber. Chop Robinson is a Maryland transfer, just over 21 years old. In his 2 seasons at Penn State, he's been very efficient, over a 92.0 pass rushing grade both of those years. He hasn't had the high volume of production that you look for. He's only had 10 career sacks. He's dealt with some injuries, and he also hasn't really been a full-time player at Penn State. So with Chop Robinson, you're basing your evaluation off of a handful of flashes, and a lot of those flashes have come against weak competition. Not that he had that many opportunities in the Big Ten to face high-level tackles, but he put up a lot of his best performances against like Iowa and Rutgers. He has one of the most explosive, overwhelming first steps that I've ever seen for an edge rusher. He reaches top speed in the blink of an eye, rounds the arc, closes in on the quarterback. He does a really good job timing the snap to maximize his acceleration upfield, and a lot of his pass rushing wins, evaluating it from the offensive tackle's perspective, there's really nothing different that they could have done. If you match him up with a slow-footed offensive tackle, they pretty much have no chance. When he gets to the top of the rush, he's able to dip that inside shoulder to avoid contact, sink underneath the offensive tackle's hands, and as long as he's got a free runway to the quarterback, I thought he showed good bend at the top of the rush. He has the flexibility to flatten his angle, and he's able to maintain and build up speed as he's turning the corner. But when the tackle's able to make contact with him, I thought he really struggled to keep his footing and bend around the edge. His success as a speed rusher is dependent on beating tackles to their landmarks, and in the NFL, even if he does have the athleticism advantage over the tackles he's facing, it's not going to be as extreme as it was in college. So if they're able to recover and just make some contact with his inside shoulder, he ends up on the ground pretty often. And I think that mainly has to do with play strength. I would say he has above average bend for an edge rusher. So as a speed rusher, Chop Robinson's about as good as it gets. He also flashed the ability to win with inside counters, and then he would use that two-way go to create more space for him around the edge. You'd see him stutter to the inside and then quickly transition into an outside speed rush. But outside of that, he doesn't offer a whole lot as a pass rusher at this point. He doesn't really have any pass rushing moves or method of winning with his hands. His name is actually not that descriptive of how he plays. He'll use his hands a little bit at the top of his speed rush to kind of swat away the tackle's punch, but it's not really coordinated enough to where you could even call that a rip move. From a move set and hand usage perspective, he's pretty much starting at square one. And he has fairly long arms. I think that's something that could be developed in the NFL, but to be the level of pass rusher that you're hoping to get with a first round pick, he's really got to develop his technique. And then the last thing to mention with his pass rushing is that he has 3 career forced fumbles. When he turns the corner, he's always looking to rip the ball out of the quarterback's hands. And again, he's got that extra length to extend his reach and pull the ball out. I think he's probably just a designated pass rusher early in his career. He's listed at 6'3", 250. He's got a wiry frame, thin lower half. I don't really see him holding up against drive blocks and down blocks in the NFL, although he definitely punched above his weight class in college and was actually a pretty disruptive run defender. His quickness and explosiveness allows him to shoot gaps and make plays in the backfield. He did a really good job of using that shiftiness to create a moving target for blockers, and he plays with really active hands. He's got a quick punch, so if he were to add weight, I think he could definitely project as a 3-down player. Thanks for watching. If you enjoy the video, make sure to like and subscribe. Also, let me know in the comments any NFL draft prospects that you'd like me to cover, and if you want to see my full draft board as an interactive filterable table, I've got that up at atozsports.com. The link to that is in the description.